Another nice sunny day. It's been a while actually since there's been any rain. I wonder if people will start complaining soon anyways. Well, that man, what did I read today? How about this one with kind of a twist? As you know, in a lot of places, they're banning countries for supplying drone parts, or let's just say drone themselves, to countries that they deem as hostile. And in this case, I guess they're saying there's people internally that are corrupt. What a surprise there, huh? This one here says, Naboo exposes corruption in drone procurement. Among those arrested are an MP and a military personnel. Last Saturday, August 2nd, Naboo and SAP employees uncovered a large corruption scheme in the procurement of drones and electronic warfare systems. This was reported by the press service of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau on Telegram. Among those identified in the bribery were a member of parliament, heads of local military administrations, and employees of the National Guard. According to the Naboo information, the conspiracy involved entering into contracts at inflated prices, which allowed for the laundering of up to 30% of the contract amount as improper benefits. Currently, 4 persons have been detained in accordance with the current legislation of Ukraine. Naboo emphasized that it operates within the law and arms to achieve a fair resolution as quickly as possible. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky previously reported on the exposure of bribery among deputies and officials. The Verkhovna Rada also supported a law that restores the powers of Naboo and SAP to combat corruption. It's not a surprise, honestly, especially in these situations where there's a lot of money to be made. And this is kind of interesting, as you know, in a lot of places, they're starting to use drones, for example, such as for policing or to deliver things like supplies. And how about this one, where they're apparently banning the airspace, I guess, for these drone trials for up to a year? Like, I'm thinking, wow, that's a long time, especially if you're banning everyone else from actually using it. This one says, Netherlands restricts airspace for 1 year to test medical drone delivery integration. The Netherlands Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management, in agreement with the country's Ministry of Defense, has established a temporary restricted area in Meppelzoll for medical drone deliveries. Dutch company ANWB will have 1 year to use the area, operating medical delivery drones between hospitals in Meppel and Zwolle, a distance around 25 kilometers, as well as providing operational services. The beyond visual line of sight flights will also test detection and deconviction capabilities, with the ultimate goal of rolling out medical delivery by drone services nationwide. During the 1 year period, which begins September 1st, the temporary restricted area will be active every Monday through Thursday from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. local time. Civil aircraft are prohibited in the area, including remotely piloted aircraft, model aircraft, balloons, etc. So pretty much everything. Can you imagine that, where like they say balloons? Does that count as, for example, if someone's having a birthday party and there's like a balloon outside? Exceptions include aircraft operated by the National Police, National Expertise and Operations Unit, and Aviation Department, aircraft used for search and rescue operations, emergency helicopters, and fire department flights. Previous test flights have been successfully conducted in a controlled environment. It is now necessary to test the flights in an environment that reflects real-world conditions. A Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management statement said, if the test is successful, restrictions for other air traffic can be minimized in later test phases, with the ultimate goal of integration without restrictions. Well, it makes you wonder if they will actually keep things like restrictions permanent in a lot of places. For example, no recreational people, or like they say here, no like model aircrafts and balloons and so forth. It's not too far-fetched, as like here, for example, it doesn't seem like it's about safety in many ways. It's just about control of the airspace and trying to dictate who can and can't use it overall. And I was reading this bit that seemed to be going on for a couple of days, actually. I'm sure some people have heard of it in some capacity. Apparently, the company American Eagle had this ad campaign for its jeans, where it had the person Sydney Sweeney wear it, and it said, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. Is and always was about the jeans. So it's supposed to be like a play on words, for example, where people say you're born with certain, let's just say, gifts or genes that run in the family blood, but at the same time, it's supposed to mean as well, like here, the jeans that you wear, like the company, like what they sell. Now, to me, it seemed like a very typical ad of sort per se. They're getting an attractive model to showcase it, put it out in ads, and then hopefully people kind of associate with it, saying, oh wow, like it looks really nice, I want to look like that or whatever. But apparently there's a lot of people who were against this, for example, saying it excludes people, it's inappropriate. I'm just thinking in general, what's the difference? It's an ad, for example. They basically choose a variety of people. And so with that backlash, in a lot of cases in the past, companies would actually back down saying, sorry, we didn't mean to offend people. But here they actually stood by, I guess, their decision, and they're doing it in a way where they're kind of, I guess you could say, poking fun at people. Like, for example, initially they released this statement to show they're basically all in terms of this campaign. It said here, "To whom it may concern, we sincerely apologize for featuring Sydney Sweeney in our recent advertisement. In hindsight, we underestimated the combined impact of her blue eyes, blonde hair, and general hotness. Also, we did not realize how big her boobs would be. Our marketing team has been sent to denim sensitivity training. Thank you for your feedback. Please stop emailing us." Yeah, and again, in recent times, they had like another message here. It says, "Sydney Sweeney has great genes, is and always was about the genes. Her genes, her story. We'll continue to celebrate how everyone wears their AE jeans with confidence, their way. Great genes look good on everyone." And there's various videos of people, again, they're trying to say, okay, because they advertised it this way, I guess they are excluded from this product or the company in general. But then people were saying, for example, just in terms of like this company, there's been different types of advertising campaigns. For example, there was one here, I'm not sure what this was specifically, I'm guessing it's the jeans, completely different types of models, I guess you could say. There were people creating videos where it seemed like they were in such distress over this ad. For example, them claiming, I guess the company is saying people like them, they're not, quote, beautiful because they don't look like this person and all that. I'm just thinking it's taking it a little too far, isn't it, in general, in that regards? I mean, in one point, I get it. I know a lot of people would think it's silly, but I have actually met people before where because they keep seeing stuff like this, like it's not someone like them per se, they have a lot of low self-confidence and they think they have to be like that in order to be accepted. I mean, it's a real thing. So in that regards, it's nothing to laugh at, but this is completely overboard in my opinion for this type of ad. And as you can see, I guess, even in the past, there's been a variety of different types of people. I mean, to me, in context, like with this ad from what I've seen, it could be no different where if someone wanted to have a play on words saying how their product is really on top and they get someone that's literally like 8 feet or 9 feet tall. I mean, I get the point. Like that's what the ad's about. I wouldn't look at that and say, for example, okay, they're discriminating against everyone that isn't in that height. So in my opinion, for this style ad, I don't think it's the right thing to, I guess, target in that regards. And at the same time, I could kind of argue if you're trying to be neutral, where if you're being that extreme where you say that's not acceptable, like it has to be just someone like yourself per se in that regards, and it's almost like you're doing exactly what you're alleging that they're doing, where it's like you're not accepting, for example, like people that are quote different from yourself. I mean, that's honestly how I would see it if you're trying to be neutral anyways. But what would you think in regards to this? Like, do you find it offensive, for example, or do you think no, like it's just a marketing campaign of sort, which is pretty typical in a lot of cases? All right, see you guys later.